This is a video tutorial for the TONI Tabard. It's fully reversible. It has no raw seams showing, and I'm going to show you how to make the child size one, but the instructions are exactly the same for the other size. And this is how you make it. We'll start by making the tabs. Place your tab fabrics right sides together. I'm using plain fabric, so it doesn't really matter, but if you are using pattern fabric, make sure that the pretty sides face each other. Line up all the way around and pop some clips in. I'll pop some clips in, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine. I'm going to start at the top of the open bit, and I'm going to sew all the way around the curve. Take your time around this curve and then back up, and I'll be using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I've sewn all the way around, and I've also clipped with my scissors around the curve, which will make turning much easier. To turn them the right way, I've got one of these nifty prim tube turners, and you place the one end in, and then you get the stick bit, and you just simply push up, and then like magic comes out the other side. Take it over to the iron and give it a press, and that's your first tab finished. And repeat that sequence for the other 3. Cut out 2 tabard shapes from fabric A and 2 tabard shapes from fabric B. Now we're going to place the tabs in place. Take fabric B and mark as indicated on your template where the tabs should go either side. Then take your tab that you made earlier and place it facing inwards, and ensure that the raw edge of your tab and the raw edge of your tabard is in the same place, and do the same for this side, and pop a couple of clips in. Now take over to your sewing machine and sew quite close to the edge and tack the tabs into place both sides. And now repeat this for the other piece of fabric B. I've tacked both the tabs into place quite close to the edge. You won't see those stitches when it's finished. And now I'm taking fabric A and placing it right sides together on top. Line up all the sides and all the edges, and then I'm going to clip it. I've clipped the lower part of the tabard, and I've marked the position of the sewing lines as shown on your template. Now I've marked the sewing lines, I've just added a couple more clips around the neckline. And the next stage is starting from your first line using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Sew all the way around the curve. Take your time on the curve, along the bottom, around the other curve, and then right back to this line here and stop. And once you've done that, go around your neck area and start on the line that you drew and sew all the way around to the other line and stop. I've sewn as indicated on the pattern, and around there, and I've also clipped the curves at the bottom. Once you've done that, repeat it for the other section. Now we have to turn it the right way out by pulling through the gap at the top. I've turned it the right way out, and now I'm going to take it over to the iron and press it, and I'm going to repeat it for the other section. And now we're going to get it all joined together. So place your 2 sections right sides together, so fabric A are together, We're now joining the shoulders together. Flip fabric B out of the way on that side. Pop a clip in just to keep it out of the way, and then line up the top of fabric A and pop some clips in. And repeat this for the other shoulder. And now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and using 1/4 inch seam allowance, sew all the way across on that side and all the way across on that side. I've sewn across both shoulders, joining them together, and now I'm going to tuck them out of the way while we work on the other fabric. There we go. Now take your other fabric and right sides together. It's a bit fiddly, but you'll get there. Twist your fabric so it all lines up at the top, and pop some clips in. It's best not to rush this bit, take your time. Ensure that they're right sides together and the line and the sides and the edges line up. That's about it. And you should get something looking like that. I've joined both shoulders together, and now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and use 1/4 inch seam allowance, sew all the way across, and repeat for the other one. I've sewn across and across on this side, and all you do then is pull that way and that way. We've now got to close up the gaps we left. Fold in your seam allowance. Take your time doing this if you've not done this before. Then once you're happy where they are, take your iron and press. Once you've pressed it, pop some clips in just to stop it, just to stop it moving. Nearly done. And then next we do the same for the neck area. Carefully fold in your seam allowance. Because this is on a curve, you do have to take your time on this. And again, once you're happy with it, press it and pop some clips in. I'll pop some clips in, and now I'm going to repeat exactly the same for the other sides, closing up the gaps. Once you've clipped everything into place and you're happy with it, we're going to top stitch. So starting there around the neck, top stitch all the way around and stop, and then do the same for all the way around the rest. So starting there, so top stitch all the way down around the curves, and again this will close up the gap we left, and keep going all the way around the curve at the other side. Again, closing up that gap and stopping. I've top stitched all the way around, and to finish it off I've added Kam Snaps to each of the tabs. And that's your reversible TONI tabard all finished.